Well, howdy there, Planeswalkers, and welcome to the Man and Moot Ranch, where we tame dragons. And today, I'm going to show you the ultimate Dragon deck list. Now, before we move forward, I know some of you are going to see that $1,000 price tag and want to go rob a train. But before you do, just know that any card you see in this deck list can be obtained by other means. That's enough of the accent. Starting things off, the Dragon is a Wooburg dragon with a lot of power, and he has probably one of the most broken abilities ever printed on commanders, which is Eminence. And for those that don't know, Eminence basically means that he can be in your command zone or on the battlefield. He still affects the game, regardless of where he... Now, his other ability is, when he is on the battlefield, you are going to draw a card for each attacking dragon, and then you can put a permanent card on the battlefield.
What the heck?
Scary stuff, and it's a lot. There's a lot of ways you can build this deck. So for today, I chose a token combos, a token/combo, I guess you would say, way to build him, and it's using dragons. Take a seat, and let me introduce you guys to our skinny friends. The first creatures in this deck I want to go over are going to be our ramp creatures. So we have Dragonlord's Servant to reduce the cost of our dragons, Rivaz to ramp us and reanimate dragons in late game, and Sarkhan's Soul of Flame to reduce the cost of our dragons, but he also works as a threat because he can copy dragons when they ETB. We can play cards like Ancient Copper Dragon that have combat triggers, so we can copy it with Sarkhan, swing with them, and then get, potentially 16 treasures, which is always great. And we have a few others that basically do the same thing, so Sarkhan's actually a pretty scary card in this deck. Next, I have some utility creatures. This is going to be Chlorlessa. Guys, I have no idea how to say that. Scale Singer, and that's going to give us some card advantage. We have Dragonlord Jamoka to protect us during our turns, and that's just basically so we can combo in peace. And then we have Nicobolus the Ravager as a red herring, because typically people are very scared of him flipping, so they will remove him, and so he kind of just works like a little magnet for us. Of course, if you do flip him, it's an extremely powerful Planeswalker, so naturally we do want to flip him if we can when we do play him, but just don't get your hopes up. Next, we have our token creators, and some of these are also going to be combo pieces, but keep this in mind. I will explain the combos in this deck after I'm done with the deck list, so I'll do a little segment as soon as I'm done, and it's just going to explain how basically the dragon combos work in the deck, but that'll be after. So to start us off, I have Goro and Satoro to make us tokens, while also working as haste enablers. Rith liberated Primeval to make tokens, but he's also going to protect the dragons that we have. We have Ancient Copper Dragon, which is going to make us a boatload of treasures. And he kind of works like Nicobolus as a lightning rod for removal, so that can always be useful if you know you're going to combo soon. Just get the removal out of their hand. Cavern Horde Dragon, which is basically the same thing as Ancient Copper Dragon, although it has downside and upside. Potentially, it can be cheaper and generate you a lot more mana, but, guaranteed mana, but sometimes it's going to be useless if no one's playing any artifacts at the table, so keep that in mind. And then we have Lathliss Dragon Queen as a token generator and a game ender. Lathliss is a super sweet card and a really good commander if you want to play just red dragons. She's super good. We have Uvara Hellkite, and that is going to make us even more tokens when it swings. So this is something Sarkhan can copy as well. And we have Astral Dragon for combo, and technically it does make tokens, so it works as a token maker, but again, this card trust me on it, this is a combo piece card. You want to wait to play this one. We have Skyline Despot, because I like adding the Monarch to the game. It makes the table happier, it just makes the games way more interesting, so of course I'm going to add the Monarch to a game when I can, just because I'm one of those players that likes everyone to have some fun. We have Old Gnawbone as combo, and yeah, if you haven't seen this card in action, good lord. Old Gnawbone is going to make you a lot of treasure. And, boy, scariest card, and it's going to get blown up. So make sure, before you play Old Gnawbone, I would throw something out first that people are going to get scared of and blow up, because you don't want to lose Old Gnawbone. This card is so gross. Next, we have Karthus, Tyrant of Jund. Because we should be the only ones playing dragon at the table, this is just a way for us to ensure it. And hey, you know what, he gives haste too, so right on, right? Just play him. We have Ancient Gold Dragon, as it makes dragon tokens. And our final token maker is going to be a really crazy one. This is Miriam Sentinel Worm. It's going to work as a combo piece, but he's also just a really good value dragon to be playing in a deck where you play pretty much entirely dragons except for like a goblin, right? So he's a really good card, and he has War too, so he has a little bit of protection with him, so he's not bad. Next, this is going to be our purely combo dragon package, meaning these dragons don't make tokens, but they are going to be for a combo. So we have Sign of the Ur-Dragon, which is just, in general, it's a good card if you're playing 5-color dragons. It came with the precon too, if you did pick it up. I know I picked that one up, but, you know, sorry if you didn't, because that deck is really expensive now. But Sign of the Ur-Dragon is a really good pickup for this deck. And then we have Skitterix, the Blight Dragon, and below your pitchforks, I promise you, the combo does use Infect, but it's not going to be like your typical Infect deck. People aren't going to hate you. It's actually a pretty cool combo, so just let me explain it at the end and you'll probably like it. But yes, we are playing Skitterix and he is an Infect creature, but don't worry. And then speaking of Skitterix, his next piece that combos with him is actually Molten Steel Dragon. And this is it looks like a bulk rare, but I promise you it actually does some really cool things with Sign of the Ur-Dragon Skitterix, which I know your guys' heads are already turning and figuring it out. And then we have Terror of the Peaks, which is just, I mean, if you haven't seen Terror of the Peaks, another just really good card. You don't even have to be playing dragons. Terror of the Peaks, everyone knows this card. It's very scary. Basically, every time one of our creatures are going to ETB, we're going to be starting to hit people for a lot. Especially if we swing with like Gold Dragon, we might just 20 someone's face on accident, which is always cool. Next, we have Hellkite Charger, which is going to be working as one of our infinite combat. Basically, it's a mana sink, especially with Old Malbone. So it doesn't take a scientist to figure that out. But yeah, Hellkite Charger is one of our pieces for our infinite combat combo. Then we have Bladewing the Risen, which if you played Arena, I believe the combo is on Arena. And we're not playing Dragonstorm, but we are going to be doing the Bladewing shenanigans with tokens to basically get infinite death triggers and infinite ETBs, because with Terror of the Peaks, that kills the entire table. And then lastly, I am playing a Tiamat. Or no, actually, this isn't our last dragon, sorry. Tiamat is basically a tutor for all our dragons, and I mean, come on, you're playing 5-color dragons, you got to play Tiamat. And then, sorry, the last dragon we have is going to be Virgo and Ojutai. It's new, it's hot, I want to test it out, and it's good card advantage, and it works with each dragon you control, so even our little 1/1 blue dragons, aren't that great, can technically get us some card advantage with Zergo and Ojutai, so, yeah, I think it's a good pickup. Really fast for our Planeswalkers in the deck, we are playing Sarkhan Unbroken, because by far this is probably the best Sarkhan Planeswalker. And hey, if you're playing dragons, you gotta play Sarkhan. This guy loves dragons, and he's really strong. I mean, we're talking about drawing a card, adding a mana, so ramp draw for his +1. -2 is gonna give us a dragon token with flying. And then his -8 is gonna let us search our library for any number of dragon cards and put them on the battlefield. An instant win in this deck because we have Terror of the Peaks, which will kill the table instantly. So, of course, we're definitely gonna play him. Are we gonna ult him? Probably not. To be honest, keeping a Planeswalker alive in Commander is extremely difficult, but hey, you know what? There's fringe cases. Maybe you will be able to get his ultimate off, but we're mainly playing him for his uptick as it ramps us and draws us a card, so it's exactly what we want to do. And we are going to be playing one battle. That is going to be Invasion of Tarkir. This is probably going to be a new Dragon staple, as it's very good removal. It's already basically Dragon's Fire from the D&D set with upside. Turns into a 4/4 dragon that basically makes all our little dragon tokens extremely lethal because they're each shocking basically anywhere. They're each casting a shock when we swing. So just a very strong card. So of course we're going to be playing it in this deck. Spells are the next biggest part of this deck. We are playing a lot of expensive cards and we need to basically buy time and ramp so we can play a lot of these big dragons. So let's take a look at our removal package first. We have Swords of the Plowshares because it's one of the best removal cards you can play in Commander, and we're playing all the colors, so of course we get all the good cards. Deadly Rollick, as it's also very good, and it's getting a reprint soon. Deflecting Swat, basically it can redirect removal, it can also redirect other spells, so gosh, Deflecting Swat is such a good card. And now for mass removal, we have Ethu's Will to basically wipe the board of creatures and artifacts and enchantments, and if I said that wrong, oh well, sorry guys. And Crux of Fate is basically ultimate dragon board wipe, and Kindred Dominance is also getting a reprint as well. also just a very good board wipe when you are playing a lot of basically you're playing the same tribe, right, or type. For ramp, we have Farseek and Nature's Lore and Scried Shroud Flame. They all find forests, and you'll see in our mana base that's going to be quite useful. We are not playing any Triomes in this deck list. That's something you could add if you want, but we'll get into that in a minute. Next, we have Protection with Heroic Intervention. And card draw is going to be with Return of the Wild Speaker. Or you can kill your opponents, of course, with it, but most of the time you're going to probably be drawing cards with this. Last March of the Ents is going to work as card draw, which is, God, Last March of the Ents is very good in this deck because, in theory, you could technically combo. If you have some of the pieces already on the battlefield, all it takes is a few of those dragons, and you could just combo off. Or you could just play Skitterix and give them hasted. You know, suddenly someone has 4 Infect, and they don't like you anymore. So, Last March of the Ents, man, what a crazy good card, especially when you're playing this many big permanents. And then we're also playing Conflux as a way to basically find 5 cards that we need to combo off with. Kind of works like the Tiamat. We have Tooth and Nail, which is just 9 mana, try to win the game. In our deck, it's that simple, pretty much. Tooth and Nail is just, it's a really scary card, even if you don't win the game. Like, let's say someone wiped your board, you have 9 mana left, and all you have is Tooth and Nail. You can't win the game from there, but you can get very close to just flat out winning the game. Actually, no. You can get infinite death triggers with Bladewing, but without the Terror of the Peaks, you would need to find 3 dragons in total to infinitely go off, but you can get close, very close. Artifacts and enchantments are next on the list, and I'm going to start us off with our ramp, which is going to include Arcane Signet, Null Soul Ring. Guys, we're playing a lot of different mana pips in this deck, okay? So there's too much. Soul Ring just does not function in this deck. Like, we need mana rocks that produce color. So that's why we're going to play Orb of Dragonkind. As it's going to ramp, it's made for dragons, and you can sack it later to basically pick up another dragon. Pillars of Origins, as a really, no one plays this card, but it's very good when you're playing Typal. It basically functions like a second Arcane Signet, and then Throne of the God Pharaoh. Since we're making a token list, why not swing for 70 power and then trigger this artifact and drain them for another 7? Because it just makes sense. Next, we have Carnelian Orb. I think I'm saying that right. Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind. It is going to give our dragons haste and function like a mana rock. We have Chromatic Lantern to fix all our mana. And we have Dragon Horde, which is going to be a mana rock that lets us draw cards when dragons eat. We have Herald's Horn as well. It's going to provide us a discount on our dragons, and it's going to work as basically card advantage. Chromatic Ori is also included. It is a mana fixer as well. It can tap for 5 mana, and technically with our commander, it can draw us 5 cards. Now, one of the weird decks that I'm also including is a Forgotten Rare from Tarkir. This is going to be Dragon's Throne of Tarkir. What a strange card, but listen, there is a good chance with this. This is a massive pump. When you have all these little, like, small dragons or all these dragons, pumping them by 5 power easily, because you can throw this on a token, right? 5 tokens. Pump your whole board by 5. It's crazy good. It's actually pretty sweet. And, you know, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Dragons of Tarkir was a long time ago, but let's give this card another chance. We're also playing Dragon Tempest because, of course, this is a dragon staple. It gives your dragons haste, and it basically keeps the entire board clean. We have Steely Resolve that's going to prevent Doom Blades. We have Aggravated Assault, which is basically the combo with our Treasure Makers, and it's a far better one because it's only 5 mana. We have Loot Dispute as a fun card because it introduces another Monarch style mechanic, which I absolutely love, so of course we're going to play Loot Dispute. We have Molten Echoes, which is going to be combo, and if it's not combo, then it's just going to be crazy value when it's sitting there on the battlefield. Parallel Lives, it's basically the exact same thing. We want to make a lot of tokens, and there is a combo with Astral Dragon. Remember that bad card that you saw? Well, turns out it's not so bad with this card. And then we have Reflections of Lijaro, which is basically another way for us to make tokens, and it does work as a combo piece with Bladewing. And of course, we are playing There and Back again from Lord of the Rings, because who doesn't love Smaug? If Smaug is now in Magic, I'm going to be playing Smaug. Sorry, I might have been saying his name wrong. My bad. Now for the boring but necessary part of the deck, the mana. So the mana base is pretty simple. We're playing the 10 Shocklands: Watery Grave, Temple Garden, Stomping Ground, Steam Vents, Sacred Foundry, Overgrown Tomb, Hollowed Fountain, Godless Shrine, Breathing Pool, and Blood Crypt. What a mouthful. Of course, we are also going to be playing the 10 Fetch Lands: Wooded Foothills, Windswept Heath, Verdant Catacombs, Scalding Tarn, Polluted Delta, Misty Rainforest, Mars Flats, Flooded Strand, Bloodstained Mire, and Arid Mesa. And then after that, we will play cards that are, lands that tap for any color. This is going to include Cavern of Souls, taps for any color. It also makes our dragons uncounterable. If Brass, Command Tower, and Haven of the Spirit Dragon, and Mana Conflux. Plaza of Heroes as well, because Plaza of Heroes is just a crazy card. Very good. And Temple of the Dragon Queen, because it's on flavor. And finally, the World Tree, which is also probably our all-star land, as it helps us basically fix our mana. We are playing every basic, including their snow versions, although the basics, you can go either way with them and kind of fill them in how you need to, or you can play more utility lands if you don't have to play the full 10, obviously. Totally up to you guys. So my dear students, the first and easiest combo to understand in this deck is the one involving combat doublers that basically work as mana sinks. And that's going to be cards like Aggravated Assault and Hellkite Charger, okay? They're going to combo with cards like Old Gnawbone. So you start the turn with Old Gnawbone, or you have a Haste Enabler, have enough mana to play both Old Gnawbone, Hellkite Charger, or Aggravated Assault. You're going to swing with Old Gnawbone. Boom. 7 treasures minimum. And keep basically paying either Hellkite's extra combat cost or Aggravated Assault's extra combat cost. And basically, you go infinite from there. Now remember, it's important to remember that either an Old Gnawbone or another dragon must connect to the player in order for this to go infinite. So if people have flying blockers, they can stop the combo and make sure that you keep connecting, and you keep connecting for enough that you can keep paying that cost. So while it can be infinite, technically it is very easy to foil. This combo can technically work with Ancient Copper Dragon or Cavern Dragon, but you kind of need some prerequisites filled out, so Old Gnawbone is just really better for this. Next, we have the Blade Wing and Cloning Effects combo, and that is going to create infinite and death triggers. The death triggers don't matter so much for us. We're really looking at the easy. The way this combo works is you're going to need Terror of the Peak, okay? And so first, we have to have a way to copy Blade Wing on the battlefield with Terror of the Peak. Then we play Blade Wing and sack the real one to the legend room. So tokens gets made. Blade Wing enters. Sack Blade Wing to the legend room. Goes to the battlefield. With his trigger still on the stack, you're going to return Blade Wing himself. Put him back on the battlefield. Sack him to the legend room. Goes infinite because it's an EDH. All the while, Terror of the Peaks is pinging our opponents, and basically it will kill them. So there's a couple ways to get that copy. We have the Reflections of Lifjara, and we have Molten Echoes. Sorry, it took me. I don't know what happened there. It took me a minute there, but the Molten Echoes as well will work. So all we have to do is just copy Blade Wing just once, and then infinite death triggers, infinite ETs, kill the table. Another one that we got, and this is going to be a more complicated combo. It's going to involve Scion of the Ur-Dragon, Molten Steel Dragon, and Skittles or Skitterix. So we're going to Scion of the Ur-Dragon, you have it on the battlefield. We're going to activate it by paying 2. Holding priority, we activate Scion of the Ur-Dragon a second time, so we pay 2 again. That's 4 mana, right? Resolve the first Scion of the Ur-Dragon ability. Search your library for Molten Steel Dragon, put it into your graveyard, and makes the Scion a copy of it. You are going to either pay 12 life or the 6 red mana and make his power 10, Molten Steel's ability, okay? And then second trigger activates. You're going to go find Skitterix, put him in your graveyard. Steel's going to become a copy of Skitterix. Now, if you don't have a haste enabler, you'll need a black mana, but you can play the black mana. Give Scion of the Ur-Dragon haste. Now, a 10-something haste with Infect. Kill anyone at the table if they don't have flying blocker. So that is one of the other combos that can pretty much just win out of anywhere. Just keep in mind though, it does take a lot of life or a lot of mana to pull off, so always be careful of that. The last combo I'm going to cover is going to include Miriam and the Astral Dragon with Parallel Lives. So to start, we need Miriam, Sentinel Worm, and Parallel Lives on the battlefield already. So then we cast Astral Dragon by paying 6 mana, 2 blue. Astral Dragon enters the battlefield, triggering itself and Miriam. So what's going to happen is you're going to resolve the Astral Dragon triggers, creating 4 token copies of Parallel Lives that are 3/3 dragons in addition to their own types. And then we're going to resolve Miriam's triggers. We're going to create a total of 32 Astral Dragon tokens. The Astral Dragon tokens enter the battlefield, creating an extremely large number of Parallel Live tokens that are also 3/3 dragons. And with a Haste Enabler, it's an instant kill out for the table. Basically, there's no way they're going to block. We're going to kill them. And if you have God Pharaoh's statue there, even if they have protection, they're dying. Because you can, as long as you have a way, and one thing here that's cheeky that's in this deck that you could do, you could remove Zorko and Ojutai and put on a vehicle. Put a vehicle in your deck, just one. Like there's a 3 mana vehicle that, or Cruise for 5, right, that functions as a mana rock. What you can do with all these tokens, right? So you have more than 32. I haven't done the math, but it's an ridiculous number of tokens. And what you do is you crew. You can overcrew vehicles. You crew all these vehicles, you tap all your dragons with God Pharaoh's statue without having to swing at anyone, right? Let's say they have propaganda or something. Win the game. You just kill them because you can tap every single dragon you own for free because they didn't think of that, I guess, when they made vehicles. So. As always, thank you guys for all the support on my videos. I'll be coming out with another deck tech later this week. It's going to be for Aragorn the Grand Unifier. I'm going to have both a Lord of the Rings version and a regular version, so it should be pretty sweet, and I hope it's, I aim to please with it, so I hope you guys enjoy that as well. As always, guys, if you see a commander that you want covered, leave it down in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to cover it. That's going to do it for today's video, guys, and I wish you happy trails. See you in the next one.